I spent $224,000 inside this ad account on Google to generate $1.1 million in revenue. And I'll also do a quick refresh so you know it's real. And that's just one ad account. We also have another ad account where we spent $216,000 to generate $841,000. I'll do another refresh. And that's 390% return on investment. So that means for every dollar that we put in, we're getting $3.90 back. If you're not running Google Ads yet, you're leaving the highest intent customers in your market on the table. People that don't convert on other platforms like Facebook ads end up going to Google Ads to search for a product or a brand. And these customers are high intent, ready to buy customers. So if your product or your brand does not show up, they're gonna go with one of your competitors. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the exact campaigns that I run on all my different e-commerce brands and how you can apply it to your own brand today. And I'm going to show you step by step from start till finish, how to set up the campaigns, how to set up the tracking, how to do keyword research. And I'm also going to go over the mistakes that 90% of the Google ad accounts have that are losing them money every single day because they don't have this in place, as well as showing you how to do keyword research and set up your ads and your copy using AI. Now let's get straight into it. So the first step that you want to do is you want to head over and create your Google account. And you can do that by going to ads.google.com. And then once you're here, you'll click start now in the upper right corner. And then I'll bring you to a page like this where they're asking some information about your business. So here, if you have a business profile page, you can click on this, or if you have a website, you can click here, enter in your URL and then your business name. They also do have a credit. So if you spend $500, you do get a $1,000 offer as well to spend. And then you'll want to select your objective. So if you're running an e-commerce store, you're going to select sales because we want to get a purchase conversion. If you're running some sort of lead magnet on your landing page, you'll want to select leads. For most of you, it's going to be sales for e-commerce. And then next, you're going to have a conversion goal set up. This is going to be your pixel for tracking. And this we will set up later after we set up our campaign. Next, you want to click continue. And we have a couple options here. We have Performance Max, which is more hands-off approach. Once you start having conversions, you can go with Performance Max. You also have shopping campaigns. Shopping campaigns are going to be at the top. So for example, these are considered shopping campaigns for electric scooters. And then if you go over here, you have the sponsored search campaigns. So what we want to do is we want to have a shopping campaign with our products, and we also want to have a search campaign for our brand awareness. So for this specifically, we'll start with a search campaign, and then we want to get website visits to our store. Here, just enter in your website URL and then click continue. And you can name your campaign like search and then the product or the brand name. So I'll just do search test for now and then click continue. Now we're on bidding, and this is how we're going to bid and compete inside the market on Google Ads. And there's a couple ways we can do this. We can do by conversions, conversion value, clicks, or impression share. For our specific industry, we'll want to do conversions. Now you have the option to be displayed on other networking partners. So one is Google Display. You can have image ads displayed across Google's platforms, as well as Google's search partners. So if you ever see a website or a blog article and you have the ads on the sides or the borders of the website, as well as towards the middle, kind of spaced out, that is through Google search partners and their network. We'll uncheck this because we simply want to start off with people searching for our keywords, our products, and our brands. Next, you'll want to select your location. So we're in the United States, and then you also want to open up location options, and instead of presence or interest, because this can tend to people that are just interested in the products in a certain geographic, we want people in your included location. So we want people in the United States that are looking for our products. And then next, you want to select your language. So we'll select English. It's going to ask if you have any EU political ads. No, we do not. Next, you have your audience segmentation. This is different audience similar to Facebook ads, like interest targeting. We don't necessarily need to use this right off the bat because we're going to be using keyword research instead. And then you can click more settings, and then you can set up your start date and your end date. Typically, I have the start date the next day starting in the morning, and then the end date I leave open. Ad schedule, I typically like to run my ads from 6 a.m., 8 a.m. in the morning till midnight that day, and click on next. So if you're on any marketing platform right now, you know that they're really pushing a lot of their AI softwares and add-ons. For the most part, they're still in the learning phase and they're not as optimized as you would want them to be. So typically you want to opt out of any AI recommendations that they do throw at you. Like I mentioned, we're going to use AI to do some of our keyword research, and then we're going to also use our keyword planner within Google to see what our competitors are paying per click so that we can be competitive with our own brands. But here you can enter in your URL if you want some ideas, but for this one we'll skip. So now we're on the keywords that we want to rank for. For this specific test, we're going to run for electric scooters. We'll want to search for keywords that help us rank within Google for this specific product. There's a special tool inside Google Ads called Keyword Planner. If you go to the top and you search Keyword Planner, it's in the tools section and you just want to click on discover new keywords. And in here, we can put in our keyword ideas like buy electric scooter or best electric scooter, any keyword that you want to rank for your specific niche, as well as having high intent purchase related keywords like buy or shop or sale. These keywords have a higher conversion rate. So we have these two keywords, buy electric scooter, best electric scooter, and we'll click on get results. And it's going to give us a list of around 1,800 keyword ideas available. And then we can filter it out by average monthly searches. So the top search right now is e-scooter for adults, electric e-scooter, best electric scooter. And it also tells you if it's at an uptrend or a downtrend. So this one, the 3-month change, it's up 900%. So this tells us that adults are looking for e-scooters right now. So we can even frame that into our landing page to tend more to that demographic of parents, older people, 20s, 30s, 40s. But then if you go over to the side, on the right, we can see top of page bid. And this is the low range, and then you have the high range. So typically if you wanted to be this guy here, up to 40 miles per hour, fast shipping 3 to 5 days, he's gonna be on the high end of the bid. So we would want to compete with him by bidding at $1.41. There's 3 ways we can do this. We can do a broad search, which basically means any tail end keywords can be added. So if somebody was searching for red e-scooter for adults, or they had any of these keywords inside the search, you're going to pop up. But to get more specific, we wanna have the brackets and then we have the quotations. So quotations means it's a phrase match. So if somebody was searching e-scooter for adults in blue, you would pop up. Or we have the brackets, which is an exact match. So somebody has to search for e-scooter for adults specifically, or you won't pop up. So my recommendation is to keep it pretty slim for now, pretty specific. And we wanna do both phrase match and exact match. So here are my keywords for now. I have just exact match and phrase match. And then if performance is good once we launch the campaign, then you can start pushing in more broad terms without the brackets or the quotations. And you can also, similar to Facebook ads, get an estimate of what you're going to spend weekly, the cost per conversion, as well as weekly conversions. So we're expected to get 13 conversions per week at a $37 per cost per acquisition, as well as a weekly cost of $508. Which is pretty good considering our higher AOV for the electric scooter. And then we'll scroll down here, and this is going to be our exact ad that we're running. So like I showed you the ad here on Google, this is going to be their headline, and then their description is going to be down here. So the first step is to enter in your landing page. So when somebody clicks on your ad, they go directly to this landing page. Typically in e-commerce, you want it to go to your product page. You don't want it to go to like a home page. Some cases you can have it go to an advertorial that educates the person and then have a CTA button that goes to your product page. But for the most part, you just want to have it go to your typical product page where they can buy. So for example, we'll just use the iScooter.com. And then for the display path, you can just say electric and then scooter. So these are the different headlines. And like I mentioned earlier, we're going to use AI to draft all of our ad copy. So what you want to do is you want to go over to Claude.ai and you just want to paste in this prompt. So it basically says, write Google Ads creative for an electric scooter e-commerce store, reference brand iScooter. And this is going to come up with our ad copy for Google Ads, our headlines, our descriptions, our site links. So as you can see here, it did come up with some catchy headlines. We have electric scooter built to last, 25 miles per hour, 40-mile range, 1-year warranty included, free US shipping from $3.99, shop commuter scooters now. As well as our description, it says skip traffic and transit fares, 25 miles per hour, 40-mile range, folds flat, 1-year warranty. So these are all headlines and descriptions that we can use. You know your angles, you know your pain points, use that within Claude so that you can have a better, stronger description as well as a headline that is more clickbaity and pops out when people are looking at different competitors across Google. So what we did is we pasted in the headlines as well as our descriptions. So we have 5 headlines and 2 descriptions, and you can also pin them. For example, if your first headline is your brand, you'll want that to be in the first headline section. So what you can do is you can click show only in position 1. So that way, electric scooter built to last is going to be position 1 at all times. You can also see what it looks like. So electric scooter built to last, 25 miles per hour. These are the different placements that you would see typically across Google as well as its partners. And then you can also see the description that we created down here. Another asset to add is images. So if you have any product images that you want to add to your Google listing, please do add those as they do help your conversion rate a little bit. As well as your business name. So for this business, we're doing iScooter. And then you can also add your business logo and then any site links. So if you do a search for iScooter, you can see this is their sponsored ad, their search ad, as well as their shopping ads for their products. Under their search ad, they have what's called site links. So this is adult electric scooter, iScooter up to 40% off, IAM electric scooter holiday gift sales. So you can either have different product catalogs, different guarantees like free shipping, a contact us page. You can put anything you want. The main goal of this is to take up more space within Google Ads. Think of it as you're in a retail store. You want to buy out that host section, right? You want to be the one that people just go and grab because you're taking up all that room within that space. That is the reason for site links. One, to direct traffic and also to take up more room within Google. So what we can do is we can head over to Claude and we can say, give us some site links as well to go with our ad. All right, so here we have 6 different site links we can use. We have shop commuter scooters, we have C range and specs, free US shipping, 1-year warranty, customer reviews, financing available. So for financing, we're saying that we do help you finance. To build trust, we're showing that we have customer reviews. Also, another source of trust is the warranty, as well as free shipping. The price that you see is the price that you get. So we have all these different site links that, one, take up more space within Google and also help the customer through the buying process. So to add this into your ad, you'll want to come down to site links, click on the plus icon, and the site link text, this is going to be the headline text. So for our first one, we'll do shop commuter scooters, 25 miles per hour, 40-mile range. And then we'll do folds flat for transit and storage, as well as the final URL. And then once you have all your site links, just click on create. And then once they're done, they should pop up down here underneath your description and your headline. Next is callouts. So callouts we can use like free shipping, 45-day risk-free trial, anything that we want to show as like a guarantee. So for iScooter, for example, they show 2 to 5 day shipping delivery, all free shipping to US, 100 days warranty, 14 days, no reason returns. So we could do no tax, free 2-day shipping, a 1-year warranty, your 45-day risk-free trial, 60-day free trial. You can put whatever you would like to display underneath there. And then you also have more assets. So if you have a special holiday sale going on or some sort of discount, you can go under promotions and add a promotion yourself, as well as you can have your price points. So if you have different catalogs, different products, you're in fashion, you can have different prices for different products displayed under your search ad. If you like people to call in, like in our industry, we sell high ticket products, so it ends up being a sales rep that calls them and makes the sale. You can also have this option where they put the phone number below on your search ad. You can set up lead forms, so if you have a lead magnet that you want to put onto Google Ads, you can pretty much just copy paste that in there, as well as any app. So if you have an app, you can also implement that from the Google Store or the Apple Store. All right, next is our budget. So typically, depending on your average order value, how much you're selling your product for, you typically want to start in the range of $25 to $50 in daily budget. And this is just to get started. Obviously you can mess around with that and scale once you start to see some conversions come in, but it also gives you an estimate of what you're probably going to see. So it's recommending a $72 budget. I typically don't follow the recommendation, but it's saying I'll get 13 conversions at a $37 per cost with a $500 per week budget. Put whatever you feel is comfortable and then click on next. And then we're just gonna go over and review that everything looks good. So it's gonna ask you to enter in your billing information up here. This is where you put in a credit card, a debit card, or a checking account to pay for your ads. Just verify everything looks good, and then you're ready to click publish campaign. And like I mentioned earlier, you want to set up your Google tag in the Google Tag Manager or directly within Shopify. So after you publish your campaign, it's going to ask you if you want to install it with Shopify or install it manually. In this case, we can click on Shopify and click next. And then it's basically just going to give you this step-by-step process and where to go within Shopify. So the main thing that you want to do is you want to download the Google and YouTube app from the App Store. And it's just going to be a pretty simplified process. All you have to do is copy in your tag and then paste it in. And that way you can start tracking your conversions live through Shopify. And if you're not on Shopify, you can also choose install manually. It'll give you a Google tag. What you want to do is you want to copy this tag. You'll want to go into the theme code of your website and you'll want to paste it inside the header. And then once you're done, run some tests, do a test transaction to make sure it's actually reading. And to do that, just come up to conversion up top. And this is where you'll have your different conversion goals. So you'll see the conversion come through here once you complete your test order. Now, we're not done. We still need to change a couple settings within our campaign. Now, earlier I had mentioned that 90% of Google ads fail because people forget about this one thing, and that is having a negative keywords list. So what you want to do is you want to click into your campaign, and most people forget about this, but when you have a campaign running, you have a lot of keywords and search terms that you show up for that you are spending money on that won't convert. For example, if your product is gold and silver, but somebody's searching for your product in red, blue, green, you're paying for those clicks, but they're not going to convert because it's not in the color that they want. You would want to use that color scheme as a negative keyword. So if somebody searches for that color, you will not pop up. And there's a lot of keywords that most people search for, like free or cheap, that you don't want to pop up for and spend money on. So if you want this list, just click the link below and it'll be a long form list of different keywords you can just copy and paste into your campaign. And what you want to do is you want to go down to keywords and you want to click on negative keywords and then click this plus button. And like I said, these are all keywords that you don't want to rank for. So like free, cheap. Another negative keyword you want to put in there is like competitive brands. So if you don't want to rank with other brands, you can put their name inside this negative keywords list. And if you want to create a list for specific products, you can use the negative keyword list and create lists for every single product that you have. Next, I'm going to show you how to analyze your ads once you start getting some clicks. So the first thing is insights and reports. This will give you kind of a breakdown once you're like a week or two in to break down the different traffic that you're getting, if certain keywords are at a rise, at a downtrend. So if you go into auction insights, you can see what your competitors are bidding, not necessarily in cost per click, but to see if they're below you as well as if they're above you in bid. The more important thing that you want to look for is the search terms. So this is going to show the clicks, impressions, how much you're paying per click for different searches that come up. You want to make sure that you're adding the keywords that you don't want to rank for to your negative keywords list to help your budget. You can also see when and where your ads are showing up. So what I've noticed in a lot of my brands is most people will search and do research through mobile, but they'll end up buying on computers. So what you'll want to do in that case is you'll want to lower your mobile bid to 30-40% lower than your computer bid, because people sitting at their computer are most likely going to have their wallet within arm's reach. They're ready to buy on the spot. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at your analytics to check computer, mobile, and tablet to see if maybe one device is converting better than the other. Also, you can see where your ads are being showed. So if you did have the display partners set up, you can also see what different websites and URLs your display ads are being shown to. You can also see see when ads are being displayed throughout the day and when your conversions come in. You might have a spike at nighttime where you have a lot of conversions come in, so you want to up your bids during those times. These are just things that you want to look at and that will help optimize your ads so that when you are at scale, you can increase your bids, you can increase your budgets, and continue to scale your revenue. Now, the most important part of this is that negative keywords list. Make sure you go into the description and you download that list so that you can add it to your campaign before it goes live in a couple of hours. It's the exact list that I use on every single product that I launch on Google Ads. So make sure that you do get it to decrease your ad spend. And the second link in the description is the starter kit that I created for selling high ticket products using Google Ads, Bing Ads, as well as Facebook ads, as well as access to my community. The starter kit has my full course where I teach people how to start and launch products in e-commerce that are high ticket and build it all through using AI. And then the third link in my description is a one-on-one mentorship. If you currently have a brand or you're looking to start a brand and you need help scaling that brand, reach out to me, fill out the application, and we'll see if you're a good fit. If not, you'll still leave the call with some good, valuable information. Other than that, this is just for value. I want to help you guys out. If you did find some value from this and it did help you in some way or you learned something, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, leave some feedback on some other ideas that you want me to go over. It generally helps me understand what you guys need as well as help others find this content so they can learn from it. And if you didn't watch the Bing Ads video that I created, it's similar to this, but a gold mine that nobody is tapping into. Most people are on Google Ads, but nobody is talking about Bing Ads. Make sure you watch that video right after this one. You'll get the same amount of value that you got from this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.